Thank you so much for joining this session today. And over the last couple of sessions, we have been talking about wealth. We'll continue that today. Quite a few people messaged me on WhatsApp personally, as well as some of the people commented very kindly on the video. How is all these astrological insights applicable to me? That is the important question, right? So the objective of our channel is not to just cover the theoretical aspects of astrology, but also to cover how is it applicable to us individually. If I were to define broadly, in our lives, we can acquire wealth at various stages. We can acquire wealth through various means. We can make money through various professions, jobs, businesses. There's no shortage of options. So I want to make it very practical for all of us. And the best way to do it is to create a general theory that will be applicable to a lot of people. We can create wealth from a variety of stages of our life. But I want to create 3 stages in our lives and talk about those 3 stages, right? Also, some of us are born into wealthy families, right? So our base is amazing. It's about us using that base and making a lot of wealth. But most of us in our country and in countries like US and Europe and many of the Asian countries, a large majority of us are born typically in middle class or upper middle class strata of the society. So I wanted to create a very simple persona which all of us can relate to. The persona is of someone who is typically born in middle class or upper middle class, someone who has got some kind of opportunity in life because of the investments that their parents have made or their family has made, right? And they start off their life in their wealth creation journey. Now let me share my screen so that we all understand what I am arriving at, so that we can make it a very practical approach to using astrology. Wealth through the stages of life, a Jyotish perspective, right? There are broadly three stages in our lives where we get different kinds of approaches to create wealth. The first stage is typically when we are around 25 plus or minus 1 or 2 years. By we, I mean majority of our population across the world, which is essentially middle class or upper middle class or lower middle class, there and thereabout, right? So at the age of 25, we really embark on our wealth creation journey. Between 25 to 35 is one stage, then 35 to 50 is the second stage, and 50 plus years is the third stage, broadly. So when we are in the age of 25 to 35 years, there are certain things, there are certain tools, there are certain capabilities that we have which can help us make wealth, right? And if I were to look at on the y-axis, you have skills and education, you have experience and leadership, and you have wisdom. So when we are at the age of 25 to 35, the primary tool, the most important capability that we have is the skills and education. We will acquire some experience and will develop some leadership skills, and probably if we are lucky we'll acquire some wisdom, but our primary tool is skills and education. So I'm going to talk today, in today's session, I'm only going to talk about this stage in our lives, which is 25 to 35 years. And it's a very formative stage. It's a very important stage in our lives. If we get the right kind of mentors, if we get the right kind of guidance, if we get the right kind of education before that, then our chances of creating wealth become very high right from our initial stages. It's a very important stage. People often say that we should worry about creating wealth towards the stage 2 and stage 3, but I think it's important that we are conscious of what can help us create wealth right from the beginning. Now, when we are typically at that age of 25, when we are starting off, what do we have? We are either in the fag end of our education, right, or in the middle of it, or we have completed it, right? Some of us complete education at the age of 22, some of us at 26, some of us a little bit later, but largely this 20s is the age when we complete our education, right? And we embark on our journey, right? So I'll share my screen again, right? Between 25 to 35 years, what have we done, right? We have completed our education in some vocational area. Maybe some of us are engineers, some of us are architects, some of us are still probably pursuing medical degrees, some of us are pursuing management degrees, right? Most of us are doing something which will help us become a professional or help us set up our businesses. We are also trying to acquire a lot of skills through certifications and trainings. I'm not saying that in the second or third stage we don't do this, but we are far more focused and obsessed about certifications and trainings during this 25 to 35 years of stage. And then finally we either land up a job or we are figuring out a business, right? So education, skills, job, business, early stage, right? All of these jobs and businesses are in our early phases of life, early stages, right? Whatever money we make from a combination of these three things, we invest. Some of it we invest in long term, that creates wealth, and some of it we invest in short term, which we end up spending either on holidays or cars or whatever, right? So this is typically the path that we take. Now, how can astrology or Jyotish help you, right? The house that are related to skill and the house that is related to education are the third house and the fifth house. Third house is all about your skills and the fifth house is all about your education, right? And that's what we have at the age of 25, right? We have skills that we acquire through certifications and courses and what have you, right? And we have the fifth house, which is education. These two become very important for our journey to create wealth in astrology. So look at first your third house and then look at your fifth house, right? These are going to help you create wealth in the early stage of your life, these two. Now, how do you use these houses? It is through planets, because the planets that either are there in your third house or the lord of the planet or the lord of the house, third house, or the planet that is aspecting that third house. Those planets become very important in your early stage. The second thing, the education, right? Similarly, the planet that is sitting in your 5th house, the planet that is the lord of that 5th house, or the planet that is aspecting that 5th house. Those are the planets become most important in your journey to create wealth. Now, which is the most important planet amongst these? Simple. The simple answer to that is whichever planet is most powerful. As an example, if you have your Lagnesh, the lord of your 1st house, sitting in your 3rd house, and if the lord is at a good degree, has no aspects from any malefic planets such as Saturn or Mars or Rahu or Ketu, and probably it has aspects from very good planets or positive planets such as Jupiter and Venus, right? And I'm being generic over here, right? Don't get me wrong. Saturn can be an extremely positive planet for a particular chart, and Jupiter or Venus could be a very negative planet for a particular chart. I'm not going into the details. All I'm saying is, if the Lagnesh of your chart is sitting in your 3rd house and is not affected by any of the malefic planets for your chart, then that planet becomes a very powerful planet for you. So that planet is the most important thing, right? If you don't have a planet sitting in your 3rd house, then maybe the planet that is aspecting Drishti, aspecting the 3rd house, becomes an important planet. And if that planet is very powerful, say for example you have Jupiter sitting in your 9th house, from the 9th house Jupiter will aspect your 3rd house, Drishti, right? And if Jupiter is strong in your planet, is a helpful planet for your chart, and does not have any of the afflictions, is very healthy in its position, then Jupiter becomes the most important planet for you. Similarly, assess all these planets that are either sitting in your 3rd house or in your 5th house, and check which is the most important planet, strongest planet, or the planet that is the lord, or the planet that is aspecting. Now choose those planets, which is the most important, right? The planet that is going to give you wealth, that is going to activate the wealth creation in your chart, will always be the 2nd house planet, right? The lord of the 2nd house, the planet sitting in the 2nd house, or the planet aspecting the 2nd house, right? Now what we have to see is there a relationship between your 2nd house planet, the powerful 2nd house related planet, and the powerful 3rd house related planet? Is there a relationship? There are multiple kinds of relationships between the planets, and they can exist in your primary chart or any of your supporting chart. Find out if there is a relationship. If you find a very strong relationship between your 2nd house strong planet, 2nd house related strong planet, and your 3rd house related strong planet, that means the kind of wealth that you are going to generate is through your skills. Let's take an example. Right? Here, what we have? We have a Gemini ascendant chart. Why? Because we have number 3 in the ascendant here. The lord of the 2nd house is Moon in Gemini chart, right? And the lord of the 3rd house is the Sun. Now in this chart, if you see, Sun and Moon are together, SUMO, they are conjunct, right? A very strong indication that you will be using your skills to create wealth in your early stage of your life, between 25 to 35, right? And to further nuance what you're going to do it, to create wealth in early stage of your life, either job or business, right? You're thinking, should I do a business or should I do a job? From an astrological standpoint, from Jyotish standpoint, what you have to see is that this Sun and Moon conjunction, the partnership between Sun and Moon, is in your 7th house. 7th house is the house of business. So there is an indication that if you do business, some kind of a business in your early part of your career, you will make money, right? And if you invest the money that you make from that business into long-term investments, you will create wealth. Simple as that. So look at the planet that is strongly influencing 3rd house, 2nd house. See how the relationship is there between them, right? And you will get to know, you will get a lot of indications on what you should adopt to make wealth. Now we have talked about the 3rd house, which is skills. Now let's talk about the 5th house. Very similar approach, right? And if I were to go to my slides, let's take an example. This is a Leo ascendant chart. We determine education from your 5th house. The lord of the 5th house in Leo ascendant chart is Jupiter, and the lord of the 2nd house is Mercury. 2nd house of wealth, 5th house of education, right? So Mercury and Jupiter are conjunct, MEJU, in the 4th house. So that means if you are in a job that is related to real estate, hospitality, anything that is about properties, cars or vehicles, or if you are in a business in those areas, you will create wealth in the early stage of your life. Simple, right? So now let's talk about the practical aspects, right? Most of us will say, but Rohit, we have already embarked in an IT career. Does that mean we are not going to make any money? We have already embarked on a financial services career. We are working with a bank. We are a financial services advisor. Or I have started a business which is about food, which is about delivering food, or maybe I have set up a restaurant. Does that mean that I will not have any wealth? No, the answer is not that. Let's take an example of IT. So, and let's go back to our original example, right, of skills. So, if you are a Gemini ascendant person, as an example, and you have this combination of Sun and Moon in your 7th house, and you have already started your career as a technology lead in your career, right? You are working with a multinational company and you are already on that path. Does that mean that I will not make any money? No. There are multiple options how you can make wealth in this life. First is, if you can acquire a whole lot of certifications, skill sets, right? in your IT career, you are always focused on, learning this technology, this domain, that domain, project management, agile certification, automation certification, AI certification. You are all the time hungry to acquire skills. Trust me, within your IT career, the opportunities that you will get, maybe you will get a jump in your job, which will be phenomenal because of the certifications that you have. Maybe your company would send you abroad because you have a skill set that a client based in, say, Europe is paying top dollar to acquire. So the more skill focused and the more certifications focused you are in your IT career, you will do well. Similarly, I am in the financial services business and I have this combination of my education and my second lord, my education lord and my second wealth lord, second house wealth lord are conjunct, are in a relationship. But I am in the financial services business, I am not in the real estate business, and I am working, I am in a job. Does that mean I am not going to make any wealth? No, you are going to make a lot of wealth. Can you be always acquiring some kind of an education, right, in parallel to working your job? And education and certifications are different, right? Certifications are typically short term, skills are acquired with a very focused approach, but education is long term, slightly, right? Takes years. Now, if you are already working as a financial services advisor in a financial services company, you could enroll yourself into a post-graduation course that you do part-time. And if you keep acquiring that degree in parallel to working, you will see that your wealth creation opportunities are getting unlocked. In your job, somebody would say that, I need a person for this promotion or this kind of a role which is going to give me a significant jump in my job, both from a salary standpoint or from a role standpoint, and that will only be going to someone who has a post-graduation. Simple, right? You will be identified for that and you will take that role. So, coming back to the point, wealth creation is possible in every stage of our life. We have to be conscious about using the right combination. If we are seeking help from astrology, we have to be conscious about seeking the right combination of things, tools, approaches, strategies to create wealth. And if we do that consistently between 25 to 35, we will create a lot of wealth. I hope this short session has helped you. If you are in that stage between 25 and 35 years of age, embarking on a journey, I wish you all the best, and I hope Jyotish astrology is able to help you. Thank you very much.